Okay. Hi there, unicorns. It's Bunny. I realize I don't have a whole lot of videos up yet, but I decided to start a new kind of series. I'm going to be doing a Project 10 pan, as I'm sure will be in the title of the video. And so there's a lot of versions of this, and I was kind of trying to figure out where it originally sourced from, and I had a hard time like tracking it down. But a lot of people have done this in slightly variated ways, where they make up their own rules and have different variations on it. But the basic concept is that you pick at least 10 products from your makeup collection and try to use them up completely. And so the way that I'm going to be doing it is I just did a major purge of all my cosmetics and got rid of anything that I didn't really love as part of the, I'm doing the KonMari method of purging all of my stuff according to the books Spark Joy and the Magical Art of Tidying Up, or the Life-Changing Magic of Tidying Up. I really enjoyed both of those books, and so, like, but even getting down my makeup collection to what it is right now, I still feel like I have a lot of just excess product, or product that's probably going to go off, you know, before I could finish it if I don't focus on a few things and stuff that's redundant. So I basically decided to do a like no buy challenge for myself. So this is going to be Project 10 Pan for me, where I have to use up all of these products before I'm allowed to buy any more makeup. And they keep doing all these limited release collections that I really want lately too, so I know that I'm going to absolutely kick myself for this later, but all the more reason to like focus on getting rid of some of the excess that I have before I allow myself to buy anything new. I tend to be a really big hoarder of like eyeshadows and lip products. I find them hard to use up. So I am going a little bit over. There's not going to be any time limit for me. This is just going to be me updating you guys regularly on this until I complete all of these products. And I have a few more than 10. Basically because some of them are minis or really easy to finish, and so we'll go into that in a second. I'll show you why. And then also I kind of, to make it easier on myself, tried to pick a good variety of products, nothing that's like too redundant or a whole lot of color, because those are going to be harder to go through. Like, you have to start getting really creative with the color in order to use them in all these different ways, or your looks just start to feel really repetitive and boring and you kind of lose the fun of the challenge. Okay. So, I chose, I think I have 12 makeup items here. We'll go through and count them. But I'm just going to go through like the face process start to finish here, and we'll do it that way. So the first one is a mini size of Smashbox. This is their Photo Finish Anti-Redness Primer. And so I am actually a big fan of green primers because my primary skin problem is just rosacea because of my paleness. And I basically, like, I wanted to try this one out, obviously, because it's Smashbox and it's a really famous primer, but I was not super impressed by it. Comparatively to the Etude House Baby Chew base in mint green that I've tried, I really, really like that one, and it's a very pale mint green. This one is almost more of an olivey yellow green, and it doesn't show up green on the skin at all. It just blends right in, but it has a very kind of oily feeling to it, which does absorb into the skin, and that's fine. But at the same time, like, the green tone of it doesn't seem to actually tone down my redness right away, and I've heard from a lot of makeup artists that it has ingredients in it that are anti-redness, so it's like you put on the primer and then in a couple of minutes your redness is supposed to disappear, and then you do your foundation, but I really don't see that big of a difference. So for me, it's just mostly like an oil or silicone or whatever this base is, just skin smoothing primer. It's not bad, it doesn't do anything wrong to my skin, but it doesn't really do the anti-redness properties that I want if I'm going to be using a green primer. So I'm just going to use up the last of this. This was a mini, I think I got it at Macy's when I was working there, which means it's more than a year old anyway. I forget how much this was when I bought it. I feel like it was only like 10 or 12 bucks, but I feel like they've gone up in price recently too, even for the little ones. Okay, so that's number one. And then the next product is the major like face product that I'm using right now. And I actually purchased this secondhand off of another person because it's a bottle, so it was basically sterile and I didn't care. But there was someone selling some Korean cosmetics on Depop secondhand, so like I bought like 5 things from her for $12, and this was one of them. And so it is the Luminous Goddess Aura BB Cream by Tonymoly. And has kind of an interesting bottle too, but So I wanted to get rid of this one for multiple reasons. I am actually wearing this every day right now. It has a really pretty dewy finish, but it's a little bit too dark for me. So what I'm doing right now is actually mixing it with Mehron white body paint, just like a drop or two mixed in with daily the amount that I need daily will basically lighten it up to the point where it matches me a lot better. But let's see if I can do this without it being too messy. Yeah, the shade itself, I don't know if I can show that off very well, is a little bit, like, I'd say a couple shades too dark for my skin. And BB creams, because of their sheerness, tend to always look too dark for my skin until I put them on, which is fine. Most of them are really, really blendable, and so it causes less of a problem for me than other types of foundations. But at the same time, this one's a little bit too dark. It definitely looks kind of weird on my face if I just put it on straight. I have to mix it with white. So that being the case, I'm not thrilled with it, and I just want to be done with it. It does have a very nice feeling. It doesn't set very well, which is a problem with most BB creams, and so I set them all with powder anyway. But yeah, just the fact that it's not really a good color match means I just want to be done with it. And right now, I'm actually going to Sharpie all these containers later so that I can record my progress and you can see what kind of progress you're making. But right now on this guy, I think I am already like 2/3 of the way through it, and I think that the person who had it before had gotten through a little bit of it as well before she realized it wasn't a good match for her either. But yeah, what I have been doing with this actually is mixing my own cushion compact. I have an empty compact so that I was able to buy from an Etsy seller, and so you basically, to make a cushion foundation, you have to lighten up the formula so that it will soak up into the sponge a little bit. So I mixed this with some white Mehron, with some MAC Prep and Prime serum, and I think another serum that I had laying around that I kind of wanted to get rid of. Something else that was kind of watery, like gel-based, but not actually water-based, so that it wouldn't pill up. And then, so that's basically what you do, is you mix in foundation plus serum or some primer or something else that's lighter and more gel-like than the foundation, and that makes it a sheer coverage and makes the actual consistency of the foundation more watery, so that you can use a like cushion that comes with it, or it's not a powder puff because it feels like almost like microfiber something or other, but it's like this interesting, it's basically a powder puff that you dip into the sponge cushion to apply it with. You just have to make sure that the formula can actually soak into the sponge properly and doesn't like gunk it up. So I'll be getting rid of that, and that's number 2. And then number 3 is a cheek product. And I actually have kind of a couple cheek products. We'll get to that. This is Rimmel Stay Blushed Liquid Cheek Tint in Apricot Glow, and I'm actually wearing it today. I layered some of Benefit's Coralista over the top of it, both to set it a little bit, intensify the color a little bit, and also diffuse it out. Because that is the problem that I have with this a little bit, is I actually really like the color. It's a really pretty shade, but because it's a liquid cheek tint and it's kind of like an almost this like cream texture, it's not as blendable. It doesn't seem to like to go on as smoothly for me. I have trouble controlling the color and diffusing it out the way that I want, more so than I do with powder blushes with like a nice brush, I guess. So I just haven't been as happy with the application of this. I feel like it either goes on too strong and then looks really like unnatural, or I have to blend some powder over it anyway, so I'm just going to kind of get rid of it. I have a bunch of apricot-ish blushes anyway, so I feel like it's kind of redundant. I really like the Benefit Majorette, which is a little bit brighter than this. It's like a candy orange. And that is also a cream, but it's like a, how do you describe it? It's like a cake cream. It's like a really, really thick cream, and so you just dab your finger on it and then blend it out. And for some reason, that formula seems to be a lot more blendable than this liquid one that kind of like absorbs into the skin and doesn't blend as well over my foundation. So I just prefer that, so I'm just going to get rid of this one. Like, it's not bad, it's just not the best. And then also in color, I have 2 other lip and cheek products. These are both stains, and so I'm counting both of these as one product, basically. So we're at like 4 and 5, or 4, whatever you want to count it as. But I got these minis of Posietint and Lollitint, both by Benefit, with, I forget even what with. I don't remember if it was freebies when I was working there, or if it was, I think it was part of a kit that I like bought, because they tend to give out a lot of minis with other things that they do. But yeah, so they're relatively true to shade in the bottle. This being a really like warm princessy pink, and this being a really like violety lavender shade. Actually, I'd say this one's not as true to the bottle. It's a little bit darker the way that it actually goes on, and they do that to make it a little bit more natural. But yeah, so both of these, neither of these is bad. It's just that they both feel pretty redundant in my collection, to be honest. They have a really nice gel consistency and they blend out really well, but at the same time, like when it comes to Princess Pink lip colors, like neither of these is really, really strong color-wise, and that's because they're doing double duty as a lip and cheek tint. So it's like if I wanted to get a lip color out of either of these, I have to kind of layer it and keep building and building and let the gel absorb a little bit and keep building. And it's like I have other lip colors that can just do the job much faster. And then as far as like cheek colors go, like I have plenty of Princess Pinks, and I have actually a really pretty lavender color as well. So they just feel like I don't really reach for them. So I just want to be done with those. And I'm just going to count those both as 4, honestly, because they're just minis, so it's not going to take me very long to go through them. And then number 5 is highlighter, and I actually really love this. I got this in Japan when I was studying abroad, and it's the Kiss highlight. What is this called? Mix Moon Highlight. In number 1, I don't think it says anything interesting for the color. Sorry, I'm reading the katakana on the back, and my iPad's gonna die. That's not good. But yeah, so this was really interesting, and I actually spilled some glitter powder in here, so now it's all loose, and I'm afraid to show you, but so it has like a really interesting, beautiful mix of both white matte highlighter and pink shimmer highlighter. So you can choose what concentration you want, if you want it to have shimmer or not, and then it came with this little cute brush enclosed in there. And then I basically just totally spilled a bunch of white glitter powder over the top because I needed to get rid of the glitter powder as well. But totally just got some highlighter / glitter powder all over my hands. Awesome. But yeah, so I actually really like that highlighter. As you can see in it, I actually already hit pan, but I just want to kind of use up the rest of it because it has taken me, like, whatever has it been, like the 2 or 3 years now since I was in Japan to go through it. I have a problem with highlighters and highlighter powders, especially, but yeah, I just feel like I love how highlighting looks on my skin, and I have a lot of trouble contouring because I'm so pale, so I tend to just hoard highlighters. And then especially when they came out with like 2 from 2 that I couldn't say no to. There was a special Sailor Moon compact, the 20th anniversary one, and a friend of mine was actually selling it after they had already kind of gone and sold out through shopping services, and she gave it to me for a really good price, so I like had to grab it from her. And then on top of that, I was able to track down on eBay to complete my set the Majorca, the fairy tale book series that they did for their anniversary, where they had 4 little fairy tale book, the little humming books, where in the front it has several like little vellum pages and it shows a song, and you can actually go online to watch the videos of the songs that they did. So I loved the packaging on those so much that I had to have all of them because I have a problem. And then, so the 4th one, like 3 of them were look kits that came with 2 eyeshadows, a cream eyeshadow base that would change the color of the eyeshadows going over it, and a lip gloss. And then the 4th one was like the Fair Maiden mixed highlighter, and it actually has like 5 different colors of highlighter powder in it that you can choose to mix to get whatever color undertones you want, or you can just mix them all together on a swirl them together with a brush. But yeah, so I really like that too, and it has this beautiful like the Virgin Maiden Snow, or the Virgin Snow Maiden printed in like embossed into the powder, and it's beautiful. But yeah, so now I have like this excess of highlighters, and I just need to get rid of like the lesser of the collection now, which has become my old highlighter. Okay, and then that is 5, and then so I already did kind of lip products, so I'm just gonna go into the rest of the lip products now. I picked multiple lip products basically because, okay, so number 6, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, cool. So 6 is just a lip balm. I have an excess of lip balms because goo hoarding. And funny enough, this is actually, like, this is really old because this is one of the freebie lip balms that my old orthodontist gave me when I had braces between the ages of 16 and 19 or 20. Like, my parents had me do my braces at, like, the weirdest, most awkward possible time. I have, like, prom photos with my braces on. Like, that's ideal. But my mom talked me into it because I didn't think I even needed them. And then she was like, well, you should do it now before you're old and your teeth get all set and grown in like me. And then you'll have to do it later and have them, like, break your teeth out again. And it's awful. And because she decided to get braces, like, way up, you know, at the same time that I had them, and then, like, regretted it because her teeth were all set in place, whatever. Anyway, so I have, like, this excess of lip balms that she gave me while I was working with her. I did not like my orthodontist. I referred to her as Indian Barbie, because, which probably sounds offensive, but it's because she was just so spacey. Like, she was such an airhead that I'd try to talk to her and I'd try to ask her really, like, valid questions about the whole experience and what to expect and things along the way. Like, you know, oh, you said that I can't have caramel, so does that mean that I can't, like, chew gum, or I can't have blah, 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 and, you know, like, is there anything that I should be doing with, like, I had to have special rubber bands that I had to put on myself, like, every day, and I had to have, like, for a while I had the railroad tracks, and then I switched over to the Invisalign, so, like, I had tons of questions the whole time, and, like, this is her job to know these things, and then sometimes I just ask her a question, she'd just stare at me, like, she'd just smile and stare at me with, like, this really blank look, just like, oh. So I can just only ever remember her as, anyway. Okay, so I have a lip balm, and then the reason that I chose to keep this one, let alone bother to use it up, is because it's cherry lime popsicle lip balm, and I think these are coconut oil based, so they're actually really good lip balms, and then this one in particular just has a really charming, like, scent and flavor that I really enjoy. So I'm just, like, that's been my favorite lip balm right now. And then I have 2 other lip products which can be used together, and that's why I decided to do 2. I have the Tonymoly Tint Crayon Delight, and I don't know if this color has, like, a name or anything. The rest of it's in Korean, but, oh, it's all gross too. I'm sorry, hang on. But this is one of those, like, mood color changing lip balms, and then I just accidentally swatched it for you. But basically, when you get mood lipsticks, the truth is I think there's only one color of pigment that they have. Like, all mood-changing lip products that I have ever tried all turn the exact same shade of pink. So I think that it's just this one particular chemical or substance that they have that they can put into these products that changes colors based on your body temperature. And so it's like I basically just have another one of these, and it's always this exact same kind of medium hot pink that's relatively universal. And then they just put it in different lip products in different, like, concentrations, or pair it up with other pigments to try and alter it. But yeah, so I basically have this one that's like the weird green one compared to all the other pink ones that are mixed with, like, other pink pigments. And this also came from the secondhand trade that I did. But I like how it looks on my lips, and then it's really easy to control because it's kind of like, you know, a gel crayon, and the color doesn't go on too strong. So you can kind of layer it up to get a really easy gradient lip. And then to complete said gradient lip, I have a Maybelline, what is this called? This is like the color elixir, that's what it is. And I'm blooming. Or I'm Is that I'm blooming or I'm blushing? Whatever. But yeah, so this is this is really weird. I didn't realize it when I bought it because the packaging in drugstores is awful. They don't always show you like the advertisements that tell you what the product's supposed to do. So this is a lip plumper gloss, so it has that bullshit in it that makes your lips tingle, which it's not super strong, thank God. And the color's relatively nice, so I'm basically just gonna go through it. But what's so funny is that when I bought these, I just thought that they were like lipsticks. Like, this is made to look like a lipstick, and I was upset when I found out that it was actually just a gloss that's like made to look like a lipstick. Like, it really bothered me that I was expecting a lipstick and the lipstick was a lie. It did though. So it's like, it's a pretty color, it's pretty true to the shade here, and it's like a princessy pink. So it's like that combined with the crayon, which is easy to get in the middle, and then I can just do that as kind of like a daily gradient lip. And so I'll hopefully go through both of those relatively quick. And then we're getting down to the last couple products here. So I picked one eyeshadow palette, basically because I feel like this one's redundant enough that I'm happy to use it up, even though I do like all of the colors in it quite a bit, and I use them all. So this is some Rimmel little shadow, I want to call it a quad, but it has 5 shades in there, so I don't know what to call that, but it's the Glam Eyes HD in Royal Rose. And this was actually sent to me in a blogger box as part of the influencer program. They sent me a bunch of Rimmel stuff at one point, which was cool. And then some of it I liked more than others. That's actually how I got this blusher, too, now that I think about it. The Stay Blushed came with this as well. But yeah, so this has like a neutral, kind of pure snow white, which is very translucent. And then the pink is another shimmer highlighter shade, which is also very translucent. They actually look really similar on the skin, so they feel kind of redundant, but I use both for different reasons. And then they have two, like, the browns look a lot darker than they go on. Like, this whole quad really doesn't have great pigmentation, and that's another reason that I'm going to definitely try and hit pan and actually proper use it up. But they all look pretty on the skin, so it's just a little bit disappointed that they're not nearly as pigmented as they could be. But yeah, so they basically, like, you can smoke them all together to create a really pretty kind of natural pinky smoky eye. Or I sometimes will just do like basic eye contouring with them. Or because the darkest brown actually goes on as like a relatively light kind of chocolatey brown and it blends into other colors, well, like, I basically use all these colors relatively frequently to get kind of that like pink and strawberry chocolate look, which works for me really well, and I use those colors combined with a lot of other shadows in my collection. So I don't think I'll have any trouble going through the whole palette either, basically, which was another like little mental criterion for things that I was picking, is like I didn't want to start off by making this hard for myself and like picking something with shadow where it has like a color that I absolutely hate and I'm just gonna have to like find ways to put it on my face that don't make me hate myself. Like, that's not ideal. Okay, and then so we have 2 more products. At this point, I just decided to pick like a brow product because I have too many of them. And so this is Avon Glimmer Sticks Brow Definer in Blonde 4. And so this is just really simple. Like, the shape, since those tapered or like rectangular brow pencils have come out, I'm less impressed with the just regular round ones. But it's basically just like an automatic eyeliner in a brow color. But this color works really well for my brows. My biggest concern with brow products is just that they're not too dark because I can't do a whole lot of anything. My hair is so light that 2 shades darker than my hair color is still lighter than most brow products. Pretty much anything I put on them feels really extreme. So for this pencil, sometimes I'll actually apply it to a brush and then just brush a little bit of it through. Or if I actually define my brows and fill them in with this, it's a little bit more dramatic, but doable for me. So this is one of the ones I'll use for like a strong brow day. It's one of the only pencils that I actually use actively, so I decided to use it up because I have a couple other brow pencils that are nicer and have like the better shape for drawing and the hairs with. And then I have a pencil eyeliner also because I have way too many of these. I think everyone just accumulates black liner pencils, like they just multiply. And I keep getting them in Ipsy boxes too. But this was part of like an eyeliner sampler box, one of the ones that Sephora does like seasonally, where they have like their trial size favorites. And so this was like the full-size product that came in the package, and it's the Styla Smudge Stick Waterproof Eyeliner. And what's the color called? It's black. Oh, it's Stingray. That's weird, but okay. Right? Yeah, Stingray. That's weird. Okay, but yeah, so it's basically like just another automatic eyeliner pencil. It's made to basically be smudgeable until it dries and then it's waterproof, which I find far less useful because I hardly ever do like a smoked out eyeliner. Like I like my eyeliner super strong and clean. So I basically just use it to tightline my eyes and do my lower lash line, and so it's like I don't care. Like, I'd rather use my pencils that aren't as smudgy, so I'll just go ahead and like kind of get rid of this one, use it to tightline and do my eyes, and then do a more, because it's meant to smudge, it's not as, it gets on my crease a lot of the time. I've found if I try to actually just wear it by itself as an eyeliner, so I'm just going to be done with it. I'd rather use my liquid liners or a pencil that dries better, something that doesn't smudge into my crease over the course of the day. I guess I have oily lids or something, or just like the way my eyes are hooded. I always end up with liner pencil on my crease if it's not really well set. So, and then, so that is it. That is everything that I'm going to do. I didn't choose a mascara kind of to complete the set because I just feel like I'm going through my mascaras relatively quickly anyway. I do have too many of them for sure, but there's a couple of samples that I'm using up right now, and I guess that's just not as big of a concern for me because it's like I use up mascara pretty quickly anyway, so I just go through them normally. And then that is everything that I'm going to be using. That does basically create like a full look. But for me, like the rules of this is some people say that like you have to use all the products every day, or they try to. I don't really care. So I'm definitely going to be using these in conjunction with whatever else I feel like wearing that day. And this is just going to be kind of a game to see like how quickly I can get rid of these products, how quickly I can actually go through all of them, or if I eventually finally give up because I just want to die because I can't take it anymore. But we're going to see how long I can live with not buying any new makeup, and that's definitely, you know, kind of a worthy goal. If you guys have any questions about the products that I'm using or any more questions about 10pan, I would love to answer them. Go ahead and leave them in the comments. And this is one of many videos that I'm going to try and be doing that require little to no editing, because that's just not something that I'm very good at. And I'm trying to get better this year at being more consistent about my YouTube videos. So I'm basically just going to take on editing like a little bit at a time and not really try to force myself to do it in order to participate in YouTube. I'm just going to kind of do stuff like this. So I will... I'm basically going to mark all these containers, and then I'll give you guys a progress update in a month and show you like where I was and how much I've gotten rid of, and see if we can hit pan on any of these. But thank you guys so much for watching. I do really appreciate it. If you have any other comments, questions, concerns, feel free to leave them below for me. And if you'd like to see the oncoming Project 10pan videos or anything else that I'm doing, please go ahead and subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. Have a good rest of your day. Bye.